To my right is Rob Gray. I met Rob at the Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, which I attend randomly. I've been to several. It's pretty much deemed a libertarian group setting, but it's really about freedom and how we've lost so many freedoms in this country. Rob runs the American Open Currency System, AOCS, has a unique perspective on legal tender laws, why silver should be more used in circulation, and just overall great guy. I've met him face to face a few times, had a great contest that he and Chris Dwayne put together to get more notoriety for the Silver Summit. I thank you for that. So let me just open it up wide open and say, tell us who you are and what is the American Open Currency System?
Sure, I'm Rob Gray, Executive Director AOCS, and AOCS is the standard for honest trade. We've been working for years now to help reestablish silver once again as money. There are a lot of great people out there that are talking about silver. There are a lot of great people out there that are educating why it's so important to buy silver, physically hold silver to protect your wealth from inflation. We're taking it one step further and encouraging people to go out and spend silver, because I think that ultimately we'll see a major change economically when we actually can create strong community connections with other small business owners out there and actually barter with them in an honest form of money. And so that's the goal of the AOCS, to put currency into circulation and to establish a marketplace of business owners that are actually willing to accept this currency. A currency is only ever worth what it'll get you in the marketplace. And so part of our organization produces the medallions in silver, copper, and gold. And the other part of our organization builds that marketplace of business owners that are willing to accept that as a private, voluntary, complementary form of currency. It's not a competing currency. We don't aim to compete with any organization. We just want to mint a good quality product that people can trust. When they look at a medallion and it says AOCS approved on there, and it's not minted by a government, we want them to know that that is the exact weight and purity that it says on that medallion, and they can trust that because it's backed up with a guarantee from the American Open Currency Standard.
So I come to you and say, I want to accept silver for my newsletter. Is there a form? Is it a membership? How do I get involved?
It's all voluntary. So you would register on a website, AOCS Marketplace. You'd say, yeah, I'm this guy, and here's what I'm willing to do, and here's what I'm willing to charge. What we want to see from the members in our marketplace is a fair rate of exchange. And so we don't set any rules about how that exchange takes place. It can be physical, it can be by mail, it can be through some of our banking partners. But the point is, the marketplace is going to decide exactly how that works. And if the marketplace thinks that your newsletter is worth X number of ounces of silver, then we're going to bring you new customers that you wouldn't have had before because you weren't accepting this currency. If your rate is too high, the marketplace will tell you by not buying your product. And so, yeah, you can register online to participate in the marketplace, but ultimately it's the marketplace that decides what's fair as far as a rate of exchange is concerned between the buyer and the seller.
So someone calls you up and says, geez, I read David Morgan and silver's going to go up, so why should I spend my silver now? What do you say?
That's one of the biggest challenges we have, is actually getting people to part ways with the silver. And that's Gresham's Law right there for you. And the law says basically bad money pushes out good money. So if I have an opportunity to spend, let's say your newsletter is $35, and I can spend $35 in cash, or I can give you an ounce of silver, I'm going to save that ounce of silver and I'm going to get rid of that bad money, because I know that the silver is worth more than 35. I know that I had to buy hundreds of them to get that price, and I had to ship them and insure them, and I think that this is going to be worth a whole lot less tomorrow, so I want to hold on to that. And so what we build into the Open Currency Standard is an incentive. So we suggest to merchants in the marketplace to give people a better value if they want to spend silver. So your letter might be $500, or it might be a number of ounces of silver that on the open exchange is worth a little bit less than that. And so you're giving them an extra, a little bit more buying power if they're spending the good money. And so the core component of the Open Currency Standard is what we call the face value formula. And the face value formula exists to help the merchants that participate in the system from the volatility of silver. So I accept the medallion at a particular rate, and even if silver is up 10 cents or down 10 cents, I know what it's always going to get me in the marketplace. And the second thing is to create that incentive for people that want to spend it to actually do it at a value greater than spot. It takes a little while to get the hang of why that's there. And it's also the thing that we get the most negative feedback about. People say, well, silver is spot. You should only ever spend silver at spot. But again, we all know that it's worth more. We all know where it's going. We all want to have it. So to encourage people to exchange it in the marketplace, we'd like to see an incentive to actually make that happen.
I think I followed, but I'm going to give you a real crude example. Sure. I run a hamburger stand. It's independent, and my burgers are $10. Or my burger meal's $10, and silver's say $30.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get 3 of those meals.
Sure.
But since I'm in the AOCS, I'm going to get 4 meals for that ounce of silver. Is that the idea?
That's exactly right. So, you know, people say, why would I give anyone, why would any merchant in their right mind be willing to accept an ounce of silver that plainly is worth no more than $30? You know, you got this ounce of silver and it's got a value. You can look it up easily. Why would they give you $50 worth of stuff for the ounce of silver? And I say, well, why would anyone give you $50 worth of stuff for a piece of paper that says 50 on it? So the gap between
don't confuse me with the facts.
the currency value and the intrinsic value, there's a gap there. But that gap is a lot smaller than the gap between the currency value and the intrinsic value of a Federal Reserve note. The only difference between the two currencies is that one's much more widely accepted than the other. And so the currency, the US dollar, has value because so many people out there accept it in the marketplace. We have a smaller marketplace with AOCS, but it is growing, and the intrinsic value of it gives it a guarantee, so that even if all the business owners were to go out of business tomorrow, you're still holding on to something real. So if people stop accepting the dollar tomorrow, or as we've seen over the last 100 years, they don't accept 98% of it, you know, the currency, the confidence in that currency is going to deteriorate. Whereas with a real currency that's based on something that has intrinsic value, that value is going to be there regardless of the changes that come and go in the marketplace.
So how much has the business grown, the AOCS system grown in the last, say, 5 years?
We've done pretty well. Our goal from day one was to put 1 billion ounces of silver into circulation. I don't even know, or I'm sorry, $1 billion worth of currency into circulation. We're not quite there yet, but starting from almost nothing back in 2007 to where we are today with, you know, projects like the Silver Bullet, Silver Shield coming out in less than a month, selling more than 50,000 ounces of silver. I mean, it's significant, and we gauge our success based on how much currency we put into circulation. And we don't publish those numbers just yet for a particular reason, but we will start doing that shortly and showing the public how many dollars we're taking out of the marketplace and how many ounces of silver we're swapping into circulation. So it's been an exciting journey. I think we've got a lot more to look forward to. That people need to know today that they have the power to get this new system started. We don't have to wait for a person to get elected. We don't have to wait for Congress to change any particular law. We don't have to wait for the Federal Reserve to end itself or to start monitoring and tracking and auditing itself. Right now, today, you can take your dollars, you can buy silver, and you can find a local business owner that's willing to trade with you in that currency. And that's the most exciting part. So we can mint the currency, we can get it out there into circulation, and we can help you find other people in your community that are going to be willing to trade with you in that new form of money. And we don't need any permission to do it. So that's the most exciting part. We're doing well, we're going to do that much better, and people can do it today.
Great. Thanks so much. We'll have you back soon. Thank you.